This is Aunt Hazel's attic, and this is Aunt Hazel's chair. And I'm going to tell you the story about how I painted Aunt Hazel's chair and the nightmare and the process of doing it. And yes, that's the dog. That's the upholstery before, and this is the chair after. Yes, Susie, look, doesn't that smell nice? It smells pretty good. And the fabric, it's pretty tough. Sturdy fabric. It does have a raised design in it, which if I had known better, I wouldn't have done it, because the raised design adds to the drama of dyeing the chair. But I thought where the fabric was as durable and as tough as it was, that online on YouTube, a lot of people were talking about using fabric softener. So I did like a third of fabric softener, like a half of the paint. And then I thinned that out with water so that it was kind of runny. So it was quite a bit of water. I mixed it up. And the fabric softener worked pretty good, I thought, because it helped keep the fabric soft and it smelled pretty good. So, seeing as the chair has already been painted / dyed, I'm going to give you a small demo of what I did. Yeah, Aunt Hazel, you supervise. Make sure I do it right. So, I'm going to get a close-up here, and forgive me for my fabulous camera skills. Where is this? Okay, there it is. It's one of these automatic water squirter thingies. It gives a constant mist. So, what you want to do, okay, I can do this. I know I can. Okay, you want to mist the fabric and do it in small areas at a time. Try to be consistent. You don't want to saturate it, but you definitely want to have a good mist of water. What I also did after that is kind of rub it in and try to make it nice and even. Then here's my brush. This nice round brush. I don't know what brand it is. It's been well used. And I would dip it in the paint that has been thinned out with the fabric softener and the water. And then I would spray the brush with a little more extra water so it was nice and liquidy. And then I would take the brush and kind of swirl it. Go back and forth, swirl some more so that I would get the color in. Did I just do something crazy to this chair? Oh my goodness, what did I do? I just wrecked this chair. Holy cats, how am I going to fix that? So when I was demonstrating, there must have been some kind of natte of some sort on the brush. And I did this little, whatever that is. I feel sick. Anyways, I will figure out how to fix it, and I'll let you know how I did. Yeah, Aunt Hazel, I think you're right. I got to touch it up. But anyways, back to what I did. Circling, going back and forth in one small area where it was already wet. And then I would take my hand and kind of rub it in. Don't look at that spot. Don't look. Don't look at that spot. Rub it in. And then I'd let it dry. It was a good 24 hours to make sure that it was dry. Oh, look what I did giving the demo. Aunt Hazel, what am I going to do? I know. I guess I'll have to mix up some more of that paint / dye and see if I can touch it up. But there's a big boo-boo right there. Oh boy. Well, I'm going to figure that one out. But I will continue telling you what I did, and now I'm showing you what not to do. Let's see, where is it? I took a couple of tablespoons of the paint. Where's my hand? And I thinned it out a lot with water. And I'm just going to try to touch up that chair and see if I can't make it look better. Ay, ay, ay. Where's that boo-boo? Where are you, boo-boo? There you are, you little son of a gun. All right, so I'm going to attempt to make that better. So I'm going to spray it with a little water. Squirt, squirt. Okay. And then I'm going to rub it in a little bit. I had to open a whole new jar of spray, and I'm going to just kind of rub it in there a little bit. Kind of go back and forth and round and round. See if I can't re-dye that. And now I'm going to go wipe my hand and really get in there and rub it in. Okay, so blending with my hand. Son of a gun. I didn't have to do that again. All right, one more time. Yeah. Don't wear gloves or anything, Phyllis. Let's not protect those beautiful hands. Beautiful. I'm trying to rub that in. I don't know what happened to that. That's making me crazy. Let's see. I do think I want to wipe it down though, because I just don't want this huge gray spot. All right. I'll be right back. Nobody's going to notice that, right? Oh. Oh, look at that. Well, I tried to blend it. It looks like it covered the boo-boo. But again, I'm hoping that it doesn't make this huge spot that everybody can see. I was hoping to sell the chair. $1 million. I know, Aunt Hazel. I just have to let it dry and hope for the best. If I can't sell it, I'll just put it on the side of the road for free. Okay, Aunt Hazel. I sanded it down a little bit to kind of blend in that spot. And now I have a huge spot. Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, you guys were around for the catastrophe of me demoing and how I made a boo-boo on the chair. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to take this out in the backyard and burn it. Here's another fun fact. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of, let's see. See the shadow nose. See right here, and then see right here, and I'll back up. See how it's kind of closed there, and then you can see it's kind of stippled here, like goose flesh, like somebody plucked the feathers out of that area. Goose flesh, huh? Yeah, I know. And that's where I sanded and tried to fix the boo-boo, which I can still kind of see. I don't know, Aunt Hazel. Do I try to touch it up yet again? Do I leave it alone? So sick of this chair. Help me. Like a glob of paint got there. And it, before I realized it, it kind of hardened in. I guess I can scrape it off. That will be another addition to figuring out how to fix that little boo-boo I made. I would caution you to be careful of any drips and slops that you might make, because this is what happens if you're not paying attention. Oh yes, that stupid drip. I don't know if you can see it. I tried sanding it a little bit. And let's see, yeah, you can start to see how the old color fabric is coming through. I don't know how to fix that. I think I'm just going to leave it alone, because the more I fuss with stuff, the worse it gets. I know. Okay, so I have been working on a spot here. Let's see, where are we? Yeah. And there it is. Haha. Yeah, some of the color is coming off, so I am going to have to do some kind of sealing of it. They talk about wax. Wax kind of strikes me funny. Wax, man, I think of that on their clothes. Buzz, 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 buzz. And then, I mean, I have a spray waterproofing. That kind of makes sense. I'm afraid to do anything else to it, Aunt Hazel. I've done nothing but wreck this chair. Another thing I found on this chair that needed some attention was this back of the chair. And Aunt Hazel had a cat. What was the name of that cat? Oh, yes. Tubba. Meow, meow. I remember that cat with her head stuck in the food bag. Tubba, get your head out of that food bag right now. Eating because she was so impatient. She couldn't wait for someone to put the food in a dish. Thus, Tubba. She loved this chair very much too, and she had clawed. So you can still see some of the marks, but I took a pair of scissors and cut it down. It's a little rough, but it's the back of the chair. I mean, who's gonna notice when it's up against the wall? Meow. The critique of the process of fabric painting or dyeing a chair. This is Aunt Hazel's chair, and this is the results. And there was an awful lot of peaks and a lot more valleys of this chair. And I'm not really satisfied with it. Too many mistakes, but I learned a lot. I learned I'm not a very patient person. Here's all I know. Patience is a virtue, and I am not very virtuous. That is for certain. You may hear some audio blanked out, and that's because I used a couple of brand names, and I didn't think that people would want to have their brand names attached to some of the mess that I made, because they might be mad. I'm really all set with this chair in many respects. I don't know if I want to touch it anymore. I don't know, I'm so sick of playing with this chair. I don't know what I'm going to do. Scratch on the back of the chair. I think I should have been a lot more aggressive with it. More than the scissors. I probably should have taken some sandpaper and sanded it. But I was worried about the fabric and what it was going to look like when I got done sanding it. I guess the sanding would have made it look better than what it looks like now. One of the things that was kind of a bugger about the whole thing was the waiting time between coats. You had to use a lot of water, and you had to thin the paint out quite a bit so that the paint didn't lay on the surface of the fabric, that it actually sucked into the fabric. So it took, pretty good 24 hours, I think, to make sure that it was really dry. Didn't want the fabric to mold. Ew. And that was very annoying, waiting that long. And I'm not a very patient person, as Aunt Hazel and I discussed before. And by the fourth time of trying to dye this chair, I had pretty much had it. Ugh! And I watch these people online that do the painting of the chair fabric, and, they seem like they do it like a day or two. Seems like it's so fast. It's not. I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I guess I'm going to have to watch them again. So, I would say that this chair, even though it looks pretty good from a distance, is not what I would consider a success. I would consider this something that is how not to do. I know, Hazel, I'm tough on myself. I know. But I am just very frustrated and discouraged with this. I don't know. I'm thinking about putting it on the side of the road for free. Free chair. I'm also thinking about taking it outside and burning it. Aunt Hazel's suggestion is to put it on the railroad tracks and have a train run it over. That would be fun. Hey, if you guys have any ideas on how to destroy Aunt Hazel's chair, put it in the comments. Maybe I can do a video. Anyways, thank you for listening. Appreciate your time. And stay tuned for my next video on how not to do something. Bye-bye now.